It's a system described as close to breaking point. The US has the world's highest incarceration rate.
So many young people end up in our criminal justice system. It's not normal.
No business would be allowed to run as poorly as our prison systems have run in this country, ever. The cost and the outcomes are abysmal.
But is punishment the only way to deal with criminals? Or is the rehabilitation approach seen in some European jails the answer? And how should governments around the world deal with society's offenders? Prisons have expanded by 400% over the past 30 years in the US, with just over 2 million people locked away in some 1,800 prisons and 3,000 jails. One report found that 68% of state prisoners reoffended within 3 years after their release and 77% within 5. Prison officials say years of outsourcing to the private sector has led to worsening conditions for inmates. It's led many to believe the problem has grown too large to ignore. But some European countries have a different approach. The focus not on punishment, but on rehabilitation.
There are less criminals in prisons because Dutch judges have started to sentence people in different ways.
In Norway, reoffences are the lowest in the world at just 20%. In the Netherlands, changing ideas about punishing criminals has seen many of its prisons standing empty. There are now only 38 prisons still in operation. 27 have been closed in the past 3 years. In Germany, up to a third of all criminal cases are diverted away from prosecution altogether. It's led to European jails being called prison utopia. But are they too soft?
It is very hard to set aside those other questions about punishment. Is it harsh enough? Is it soft enough? But all the evidence suggests is if you want to reduce risk, you need to increase people's ability to think rationally. We tend to kind of look at our fiction almost to tell us, what the crime population looks like. So they're all murderers, rapists. The reality is very, very different. And I think what you'll see in Norway, in Sweden, is a far greater focus on what you do with those people that have committed those lower level offences. Is prison going to help, or is there another way of approaching this?
The numbers do show some success, but even if some European models are working with low-level offenders, an open prison style could be seen as too accommodating for violent criminals. Prisons serve an important role protecting society from its most dangerous criminals. But in the long run, does it really act as a deterrent to would-be criminals, or is the prison system simply fueling a cycle of crime?